Toilet wipes for dudes. Not sexy, not obvious. But that's exactly the bet Sean Riley and his friends made in their Chicago apartment back in the early 2010s. They weren't thinking, disrupt CPG. They were thinking, men deserve a better bathroom experience.
Drop your drawers, get going.
They took it as a joke. They leaned into bathroom humor. They made poop jokes. They leaned in further. Today, the idea has grown into a $200 million brand. From their Shark Tank pitch to Amazon sales, to Walmart shelves, to viral stunts, they convinced men and women and kids now to buy into something taboo. They turned wipes into culture. They made a brand out of what many consider an afterthought. But their journey wasn't always clean, pun intended. They flopped launches. They've stretched the brand beyond what people initially accepted. And they've had to re-anchor it. But in this episode, we're going to dig into how they pulled off launching a taboo brand and climbing that brand from $0 in sales over $200 million. We'll talk about the role of guerrilla marketing, humor, and identity in scaling, where they stumbled and where they corrected course. These are the lessons for founders and brand builders in 2025. Because in a world where everyone's chasing sleek lines and aspiration, a brand built on crude humor and an audacious voice reminds us, difference is the moat, if you can sustain it. I'm Jinx Joglekar, and this is The Art of Commerce. Let's get into it.
The Art of Commerce is a podcast featuring conversations on creativity and conversions. Hosted by Anish, a data-obsessed creative director, and Jinx, a growth-obsessed CMO. Listen on for actionable insights for the modern marketer.
Jinx, this was your suggestion.
Yeah.
And an interesting brand too.
Yeah.
I have my good vibes for when I go camping.
Yeah.
It's how I shower. Probably too much information for this podcast.
This is we thought about it. When we talked about doing this, we're like, this might lean into TMI. But again, if you follow the brand, they're all about TMI. So there we go.
This is so on brand. Hey, if you and you. But yeah, interesting product, man. Like wipes, everyone uses them. Well, it's a genderless product, really.
Yeah,
right?
no, it really is, and it's really the reason why I brought this up is I get the chance to meet Sean just for happenstance. We were in a Amazon meeting at CES earlier in the year, and I just told him, I'm like, I love your content, and he was very humble guy, and but if you follow him on LinkedIn or you follow him anywhere, like he's always just posting what he feels and being very authentic and being authentic to the brand and being crass and all this stuff, and it crass in a good way because remember I forgot we said we shouldn't be crass, But like, you know, doing what he does and being authentic. And I just thought it was so cool. And then where it really triggered for me was what I like, you know, we're marketers. We worked in streaming, we worked in direct to consumer. Like that's where our head's at. Like go to their website. They don't even have a like where to shop button, much less a buy now button. You know, everything they're doing is about driving this brand awareness so that when you're in Amazon, you're searching. When you're in Walmart, you're going to go to the aisle and grab them, right? And that's really what triggered me to say, hey, we should really talk about these guys because so much of today is all about how do I go direct to consumer? How do I circumvent the third party? And these guys are like, nah, man, we're going to lean into it. And we're just going to do a bunch of stuff to build the brand so that when you're in those places, that's the one you want. And that's the one you're going to go to. And that's the moat. Back to the point.
That's awesome. Jinx, this episode is particularly interesting because you alluded to this in the intro. This started in Sean Riley's apartment in Chicago. The boys were just hanging out.
Yep.
It was a Taco Tuesday, apparently. And that's when they had the idea. Okay?
Yeah.
But here's where things got interesting. When they came up with this idea, and you will understand where I'm going with this. Personal care shelves are pink, perfumed, and aimed at women.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? These guys get figured out there is a niche for men in here, and maybe we can develop something for dudes, call it good vibes.
Yeah.
And that's the same sharpness and clarity and thought that we saw in the Stanley episode.
Yeah, that's right. No, exactly right. They listen.
It's the opposite of it.
It's the opposite of it. You're exactly right. But they listen to the consumer, though. They listen because here's the deal. Now you're starting to see with like Dr. Squatch and all the like, they're just copying this playbook, right? But what they're saying is, hey, guys have never really had a place to talk about hygiene.
That's
right.
True. You're expected to be rugged and
it's not a manly thing to talk about.
You don't groom, no.
The closest we get to hygiene is like, the best man you get, Gillette, the shave, whatever. But everything else below the neck, never talked about, right?
Right.
And especially at the time when they were creating this in 2010. And so what they realized was like, hey, there's a opportunity to talk about this, to be relevant, and to solve a problem. That's what marketing does. To solve a customer problem and a customer need, while being relevant and connecting with them. And like, dudes don't talk about hygiene, but we talk about humor. Like we can riff on that. We have poop jokes. So they, again, whether it was happenstance, whether it was really calculated, I don't know. But the idea to go from a poop joke to hygiene and sell your hygiene product makes total sense.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta play dirty to keep it clean. No, that did not make any sense.
Anisha's been waiting for this, so
that
you're
did
gonna
not make any sense. No, but think about it. I mean, hygiene is a basic human need, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't being spoken about,
No.
and suddenly they had possibly a generic product. With good vibes, woman can use it.
Yeah.
Anyone can use it. Right? It's gonna solve the same problem. But when you zero in on a niche and give it a personality and aim it at one segment of your consumer base, you get more people to lean in and identify with that niche that they're talking about.
That's right. I mean, it's the same CPG model that's gone on since the creation of CPG, whatever, the 50s or whatever. Because look, I always say it, like, what's the difference between a man's shampoo and a women's shampoo?
The way it's pitched.
That's right. So basically nothing. Right?
Nothing
is different. It's the same soap. It's the same whatever. I mean, it can even be the same scent sometimes, right? That may be how you differentiate it.
Sometimes I like the way he sings.
He smells great. But that's the point. Like, there's no differentiation. It's how the brand manager packages it, right?
The positioning.
The positioning, right? And who they target. And so it's just fascinating to me that these guys, that's exactly what they did. What's the difference between a dude wipe and a dudette wipe? I'll tell you what, nothing. But positioning and packaging. And they really understood that, like, hey, we can get guys to buy, and quite frankly, women to buy this for the guys or for themselves or whatever, by using this positioning. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's a good point. Makes me think about how positioning sometimes just helps you identify what do you use the product for, right?
Yeah.
Putting the product out there doesn't do anything unless you also educate the customer about here's how you use it, here's why you need it.
Right.
And that's where having that clarity and thought and how do we make sure this product stands out and holds a very specific use case in the customer's life plays out a role, and maybe you become a $200 million brand.
I think you're right. Like, you have to lead the witness, right? Like, you can't just be all things to all people.
Well said.
You know? Yeah, you just can't. You can't be all things to all people. You have to be like, this is who we are. Now we know, and Sean would say, like, if he could sell his wipes to everyone in the world, every gender, every whatever, he would. He wants that. But you don't get that scale by saying we're all things. We're for everyone, right? Because then you're just a generic kind of thing. So he actually used something they talk about a lot in B2B marketing, which is, you find your beachhead, right? So there's a great guy named Jeffrey Moore. If you've never read his book, it's fantastic. It's called Crossing the Chasm. But it's all about B2B marketing. And what it's supposed to be saying is, rather than trying to sell your product to everyone and every client and at every level of the organization and every type of organization, because you might be a software company that every organization can be, accounting software, for example. Rather than do that, focus on the person that's the decision maker that can adopt technology more readily, in industries that adopt technology more readily, in company size types that adopt more technology more readily. Go after them, and that is how you cross the chasm. The chasm being you have some sales, so then now you can scale sales because you create what's called a beachhead, which goes back to World War II, right? In Normandy, they say they had the beachhead, right? You get your beachhead there so that you can invade the rest of the land. You might hear
get your foot in the door.
Exactly. Get your foot in the door. Land and expand is another thing. That's exactly what Dude Wipes did. Like, they were like, no. We're just for dudes. Like, we're Dude Wipes, crass humor, boom, boom, boom. Now they're there. Now look at what they're doing. Like, so, I follow Sean. I think he's great. They're doing little Dude Wipes. They're for kids.
Wow.
Right? Again,
That's
like,
cute.
Like, yeah, it doesn't. And, you don't have to. I have a daughter. Like, it doesn't have to be for little dudes. But now they cross the chasm. Now they land. Now they can expand. Right, and it's just a great reminder, as you put it, to just say, if you stand for something, if you lead the witness and tell the customer where you are, then you're in their mind. Versus being all things to all people, you're just a generic wipe.
Don't be everything for everyone.
Exactly.
Be something for someone.
Yeah.
No, this is actually interesting. So here's where Google Wipes get interesting, right? They went direct to consumer and Amazon first, which makes sense. They were huge on the digital marketplace. They were occupying a share of voice online. And they directly reached out to customer first. But once they proved out their sales in online space and D2C space, that's when they went to big brand retail.
Yeah.
What do you think about that journey and that roadmap?
No, I think it's great. And honestly, like, I'm assuming they were leaning into direct consumer really heavily and then figured out, hey, look, it's really hard. It's very labor intensive and time intensive, cost intensive, and cookie deprecation and blah blah blah, all the stuff we talk about. Like, it's really hard to get right to the consumer. And so now that we've got this brand awareness, like, how do we really scale rapidly? And that's when they leaned into the channel partners. Yeah, the channel partners. And the Amazons, the Walmarts of the world. And if you think about it, it really makes sense for them. So the pros of the channel partners model, I said, is what is there. It's scale. It's immediate scale. You already got traffic, yada, yada. The cons are, one, they're going to take your margin, right? So they're going to, you're not going to make as much money because you're going to pay them for shelf space. Two, you can't control the end to end, right? Like, you're going to want to see where they put your things and all this stuff, but you really can't control the end to end, as well as like, hey, I have your email. I'm sending this. I can follow up. I can retarget. I can remarket. I can make sure you're good. And so that's the cons. I think why it really works for them is they have a simplified SKU set, right? Like, it's not very many. I mean, like we said, it's dude wipes, little dude wipes. There's they have the packaging, like 2 packs and things, but it's not a crazy product from an experience perspective, right? Not a crazy product from a technology perspective, and then I will say, because again, follow Sean on LinkedIn, he posts it and it's great. Like, he's going to the places where they're lighting up the stores. Like, he's in a Walmart in Chicago. He's down in Bentonville. He's with Amazon, so, they can't fully control the experience, but they are very focused on as much as they can control. And then having a pretty simple product with good brand awareness, I think it really works for them. I can't say everyone should do it. Quite frankly, I was just talking to another company where they say they actually don't put on Amazon because, A, Amazon takes their margin, and B, the customers that shop on Amazon are not of great quality. So meaning there's not a lot of repeat purchasing. There's not a lot of, so they actually have gotten out of that, and that's their prerogative. That works for them. They're also a little bit more complicated, a little bit higher end, So they're in that segment. But for dude wipes, this makes a ton of sense, and it really allows their marketing to focus on, brand building, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think you make a great point there also by saying that simplicity is the biggest strength of this brand, right? There's a big lesson there in one of their scumbles too. They apparently launched a deodorant brand. Suddenly they were good vibes deodorants, and no one's surprised they didn't pick up as well as their core product there. Maybe because they were suddenly in the Axe space where, the Axe has taken up that manly deodorant, there's Old Spice, it's a clever category. But good vibes, there's only one, and then they came back to their core offering, and then they offered variations in the wipes. So there were flushable wipes, there were travel wipes.
Yeah.
I think one of the earlier famous SKUs was like a pocket wipe, which was just a few wipes just for your pocket, just one time use, and maybe realizing what your biggest strength is and staying true to that. And diversifying within that realm is key there too.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think, again, that, like we say, like, not everything is perfect, and it's cool to learn from missteps. And I think you're right. Like, expanding their product portfolio didn't help them the way they thought. But, and your point, it's like if they got into shaving, right? You already Gillette. You already have like you make a great point, which we don't talk about hygiene except in shaving, and I forgot deodorant probably, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and so
maybe I guess like shower gels and stuff.
Yeah. So so the white category was wide open space.
Exactly.
When you go to these more crowded spaces, then it costs more money. You got to raise more brand awareness. Not to say they can't do it at some point, but when they were that early, you shouldn't have. But no, I love that they doubled down. And this is a funny story for you because you made me think of it with your pocket wipes. And Sean posted this on LinkedIn too. So go follow him. He's great.
Him. Yeah.
They have a single use.
Correct.
But so he said that
I think all wipes should be single.
they should be. Oh no, so, yeah, exactly. TMI, buddy. But so they said they're putting out a 2-pack.
Right.
And why is because John Mayer, guitar player, DM'd them, slid into the DMs of Sean or somebody on the team and said, "Hey, you really should make 2 of them because I need 2 of them," which is TMI. But then they did it, and then Sean obviously tagged John Mayer. It was hilarious. But so I thought you'd like that as a guitar player and all that stuff. I thought you would like that.
It's fascinating. So
and listen to the customer, right? That's right.
yes, they are so customer obsessed. Like right from the inception of the product career to doing things like these, they haven't let go of gag.
Yeah,
like, that is their core DNA.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Also, like it's a $200 million valuation, Jinx, and I think the key there is, the repeat purchases are so high because, like we just said, wipes are a one-time use product. You run out of them, you will need them again. If the product matches the promise, you will keep buying it.
Right. And like, again, back to the Cracker Barrel or whatever, if they were like, all gender wipes or something, people might not rebuy them. Right?
It's not for me. Is it for me?
Is it for me? And it's not their brand.
Right.
They go against their brand. So they're leaning into the brand. They're doing stuff. I mean, and now, they're doing a lot of stuff that, again, they must be rationalizing it. But it's hard to rationalize, which is, we're gonna sponsor. So I'm an Eagles fan, right? We know that they're gonna sponsor the Tush Push, which is, by the way, just objectively
great
right.
affiliation. Yeah.
But so they're sponsored. They did the same thing for the Cleveland Browns. They're doing they're starting to hit these zeitgeist moments because they're now at that scale.
So what's the pitch there?
So it's really just sponsored by Dude Wipes. It's like I think maybe Brown's like keeping Brown cleaner. Something disgusting, but in a good way, Sean. You're fine. Like that, and that's how they do it. It's just furthering their brand. It's getting more recognition, and so they're doing that at the top level. But then even like more experiential, which this is a stunt. I mean, it's a stunt, but it's great, perfect for the time frame we are right now, which is everyone loves pumpkin spice.
It's the season.
Tis the season.
Yeah.
So they've just released. I ask you not. Dumpkin spice.
Wow.
It's a pumpkin spice Dude Wipes. That, guys.
Seasonal marketing experts.
You guys are thinking about it. And they said, it even said, it's been a joke of ours for forever. And then we were just sitting around and finally made the connection of Dumpkin. And it's not going to last longer than whatever. But hey, if you're thinking about again, as a brand, the takeaway here, you think about the top level, you think about these sponsorships, you think about these awareness, you think about all this stuff, then don't forget the ground, right? There's got to be a payoff, right? So you can't just be advertising out in the clouds here. Now people see that, they're like, "What? Maybe I've heard of Dude Wipes, maybe I haven't." Now they go to a Walmart and they're like, "Dumpkin spice." They fall over laughing. They're like, "I gotta get this."
Yeah,
right? And all of a sudden, this is virtuous cycle starts up. So
that's also interestingly how I discovered Google Wipes for the first time. I was going for my first camping trip 2 years ago. I was at a Walmart and I read on Reddit, I read that, hey, this is your camping checklist. You need to get these things.
Yeah.
Get some wipes because you can't have a shower. Probably it won't be a shower.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking for wipes and I see this black packaging which says Google Wipes and I found it funny. That was my first reaction. I said, this is cool. And honestly, that's how it ended up in my shopping cart. And same now when you talk about it and back to the dumpkin spice example, the core DNA hasn't changed. They are so well aware of the customer journey and, having that moment of discovery and paying it off with that joke or just the packaging. That's so cool.
Yeah, they know who they are, man. But it's a fascinating company. And I'm so glad we get to talk about it because, again, I think, because I've seen the comments, they get some hate about being too crass. They get some hate that they're not serious enough. They get some hate about some certain things. But I got to tell you, man, whether you like the product or you don't like the product, whether you use it or you don't, you have to just be inspired by, the way they built this company. Because that's just, building companies incredible anyway. So the way they built the company, the way they stuck to their guns, the way they've kept within their core product set and learned how they go in it, but not too far out, and how they've owned their channel strategy, which is third party resellers, and their goal from a corporate perspective is to build the brand. I mean, it's just great. So I wish them the best, and I think again, I'm just fascinated with them. So
it is fascinating. Also, like the NFL and the sports caps, man, like keep the Browns league, like next time you drop a giant or like your Nuggets, it's just
I'm telling you, the tush push sponsorship for me,
it's incredible.
Again, I think it's just amazing stuff.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for sharing some great insights and for the great story.
Yeah.
This is the Art of Commerce. You want to close us out?
Yeah. If you like this story and you want to hear more, please let us know, and then hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because we got more episodes coming up.
We got a lot more coming up. Thank you for watching.
This is The Art of Commerce, featuring conversations on creativity and conversions. If you found value in today's episode, follow the show, leave a review, and stay tuned for more insights for the minds reshaping modern marketing.